story from Jessica, who was 13 when it happened. She spent the night at her best friend Megan's house. Megan's home had an old, creepy basement. Her parents joked it looked like something from a scary movie. After watching horror movies late at night, the girls decided to sleep in the living room. Around midnight, Megan wanted ice cream from the basement freezer. Jessica didn't want to go but agreed. The basement was dim, lit by a single flickering light. As they reached the freezer, Jessica froze. She thought she heard a tapping noise from the far corner of the basement. Megan laughed it off, saying it was nothing. Then they heard a low cough from the darkness. Turning, they saw the outline of a man crouched behind old furniture. Megan screamed, dropped the ice cream, and they ran upstairs, slamming the door. Megan's dad came running. After hearing their story, he grabbed a baseball bat and checked the basement. Minutes later, he shouted for Megan's mom to call the police. It turned out a homeless man had been sneaking in through a basement window for weeks. The police said he wasn't dangerous, but knowing someone was down there that night haunted Jessica. She couldn't sleep in anyone's basement for years after.
Story comes from a boy named Eric. This story happens to a girl named Rachel when she was just 14 years old. She and her friend Emma were having a sleepover at Rachel's house. They decided to sleep in the sunroom, which had big windows that looked out onto the backyard. Around 2 a.m. in the night, they were on their phones when Emma gasped and pointed outside. Standing near the trees was a tall figure, not moving at all. Rachel laughed, saying it was probably just a shadow, but Emma saw it looked like a person, a real person. When Rachel looked closer, the figure stepped out of the trees into the moonlight. It was a man wearing a hoodie, his face hidden. He stood there, staring at the house. Emma whispered, "Do you think he sees us?" Rachel quickly turned off the lights and they hid under a blanket. A few minutes later, Rachel peeked out. The man was closer now, standing by the patio door. They panicked and ran to wake Rachel's dad, but the time he came downstairs, the man was gone. But when they looked outside, there was muddy footprints leading up to the door. The next morning, the police told them there had been other reports of a strange man in that area. Rachel never slept in that sunroom again in her life.